గౌరవసభ్యులు అక్బరుద్దీన్ ఓవైసీ గారు.
Honorable Madam Deputy Speaker, Madam, before I speak on the contents of the appropriation bill, I would like to talk about the financial scenario that Telangana had inherited when it was formed in June 2014. Prior to the formation of Telangana, there was no regional budgeting and nobody could even actual quantum of revenue and capital expenditure, both non-plan and plan in Telangana. The injustice done to Telangana in budgetary allocation has fueled the two major agitations, first in 1969 and the second in 2001. Madam, I do not want to go into the details, but I may recall that after the separate state Telangana and Andhra agitation during 1969 and 73, the Constitution 32nd Amendment Act was enacted in 1973 and provided certain safeguards for Telangana area in the matter of development, employment opportunities and education facilities for residents under what is known as 6-point formula. Regional development boards were set up for Telangana, Rayalaseema and coastal Andhra region, and separate allocations were to be made for 3 regions. However, these boards failed to fulfill their objectives, and in 1983, the TDP government of late N.T. Ramarao abolished these boards. After the launch of TRS, the Congress government under YSR tried to revive these boards, but nothing happened. Madam, the reason for me to just go into the detail, I'll just let you know. So after the formation of Telangana state, the Telangana government has got the opportunity to formulate the state budget keeping in view the needs and the priorities of the state and its economy. Telangana inherited a very difficult financial situation with the erstwhile government of the undivided Andhra Pradesh incurring huge expenditure for the 2 months. For the 2 months period of April, May 2014. If I am wrong, I may be corrected by the finance minister. Telangana state started off with a zero balance and there was uncertainty over the quantum of revenue that the state would be able to raise on its own and also get the central government. Even as the state was trying to come on its own on financial front, the 14th Finance Commission and the Union Budget dealt a severe blow to the Telangana state at the beginning of 2015 and 16 financial year. The 14th Financial Commission was set up by the previous UPA government and it submitted its report to the NDA government. The 14th Finance has done justice to the state by fixing the state's share in the next proceeds of union tax and duties at only 2.89% on the base of the state lower population. The residuary state, AP, with 58% of population of erstwhile United State, has given a share of 4.04%. This results in Telangana state getting rupees 10,000 crore less than the AP as share central taxes, duty, grants and aid assistance from the central government is also owing to the population criteria. Madam, I'm saying this just because I want to bring the real financial position of the state. Because everybody thinks that the opposition benches again and again criticize the government. So we want to have a healthy criticism और ऐसी तनकीद होनी चाहिए कि तनकीद बराए तामीर. If I translate this, this means that a criticism which can bring some development. This is why I'm bringing this. Madam, again, as if the blow from the 14th Finance Commission was not enough, the NDA government has substantially reduced the allocation of the central schemes. The NDA government scrapped some central schemes, changed the pattern of funding from several central schemes and made some more schemes to be funded exclusively by the state. This has reduced the quantum of central funds to Telangana and also to the other states. The uncertainty that prevailed during 2013 and 14 to formation of Telangana and thereafter the DOS situation in Telangana state in 2015 and 16 has put further strains on the financial situation of the state. This is the backdrop in which one has to analyze the performance of Telangana government in the last two financial years, especially in 2014 and 15, and also in 2015 and 16. One positive signal is that the state revenues are growing and there is less impact of the bifurcation of United Andhra Pradesh on the elasticity of tax revenues in Telangana. And this is the third budget of Telangana state. Already 2 financial years are over. I am sure the Telangana government has spent in the last 2 years, that is 2014 and 15 and 15, 16, could be certainly more than what the erstwhile Andhra rulers has earmarked for Telangana over the previous decade or more. I was expecting this to be said by the treasury benches, but it is so unfortunate that I had to come and spell out all these details, madam. Going further ahead, it is not that I am criticizing my learned friend Mr. Uttam Kumar Reddy or criticizing the treasury benches, but I am just trying to put across the real picture. Madam, I may also point out that revenue received of the United Andhra Pradesh were 68,023 crore in 2012 and 13 when the Congress was ruling, out of which the 10 districts of Telangana had contributed 56,439 crore, that is 83%. That is 83%. However, out of the revenue expenditure of rupees 48,838 crore, the share of Telangana was only 19,364 crore. That is 40%. In the first 8 months of 2013 and 14 up to November, the receipts of undivided Andhra Pradesh were 45,931 crore, out of which 10 Telangana district contributed 39,881 crore, that is 87%. Out of the revenue expenditure of rupees 37,790 crore, the share of Telangana was, however, only 16,800 crore. That is 44%. These are the statistics. These are the statistics of not mine, madam. I was there in Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly, and Leader of Opposition, Mr. Jana Reddy Saab, was also there. In the reorganization bill, we were provided with this book. I was going through these books, madam, in this information booklet, furnished to MLA's letter of AP Reorganization Bill 2013. I was really surprised and shocked. So now, compared with the raw deal meted out to Telangana with the previous governments in erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, Telangana state has spent in 10 months of 2014 and 15 was rupees 62,473 crore, which is 3 times more than what was spent in region in 2012 and 13. And I am not going to hesitate to congratulate the government for this. Yes, I criticize, but at the same time, I also do appreciate what has been done right. And I am sure that the growth witnessed in the last 2 years, despite the severe drought condition, is an indication that the Telangana's economy and state finances would soon pick up the momentum. I believe in criticizing. I am going to criticize whatever I feel is wrong, but at the same time, what needs to be appreciated is that if not the Telangana state have come into existence, the injustice to the Telangana region would have continued. और जो तीन बरस में, या I would say 10 साल में तेलंगाना में जो खर्च नहीं हुआ, वो 2 बरस में या 1 बरस में उससे ज्यादा खर्च हो गया है. तो इसके लिए मैं रियासती हुकूमत को मुबारकबाद देता हूं कि आज ये पैसा खर्च तो हो रहा है. 100 रुपये आते थे, लेकिन तेलंगाना पे उसमें से 25 रुपया खर्च होता था, बाकी पैसा कहीं और चला जाता था. लेकिन आज तेलंगाना का पैसा तेलंगाना पे लग रहा है, और ये कहूंगा कि 10 बरस में इतना पैसा खर्च नहीं हुआ जो 1 बरस में किया. एंड नाउ I speak on the appropriation bill. When I speak on the appropriation bill relating to the supplementary estimate of current financial year 2015-16 and next financial year 2016 and 17, you may have to face some criticism, but do not take it in the wrong stride. It is a healthy
criticism, and as long as there is a criticism, as long as there is somebody who points out, then only the state can develop and become a prosperous state. So the Honorable Finance Minister come up with a supplementary estimate of rupees 22,740 crore for 2015 and 16. The budget estimate for 2015 and 16 are projected the expenditure of 1,15,689 crore. However, while presenting the budget for 2016 and 17, the Finance Minister has given out the revised estimate which placed the expenditure at rupees 1,062 crores. If we add up the budget supplementary estimates, the total expenditure would be rupees 1,38,429 crore in 2015 and 16. And if the supplementary estimate is added to the revised estimate, we get a figure of 1,22,802 crore. When the Finance Minister Sahab has indicated a shortfall of rupees 15,627 crore in the revised estimate, with the budget estimate, I wonder how he has come out with such a massive outlay for supplementary estimates. And yes, I know, the process of budget making, the government cannot spend beyond what is authorized by the legislature by the way of appropriation. It is also not possible to go for reappropriation without the excess approval of the legislature. For this reason, for the various head of account where the government has to make additional allocation, the supplementary estimates are prepared even as there are shortfall in budgetary expenditure on some other heads of account. This is okay. But I feel that the budget estimate revised and supplementary estimates for the current year have much similar to the first Telangana budget presented by the Finance Minister Sahab for the year 2014 and 15. The budget estimate was rupees 1,638 crore and the supplementary estimate was rupees 5,355 crore. The total estimate came to rupees 1,05,993 crores. As per the accounts of 2014 and 15, Honorable Madam Speaker, the actual expenditure worked out to 62,473 crore for the 10-month period covered by the budget that year. The shortfall was as much as 45,520 crore or 41% of outlay. 41%. I do not want to make an forecast about the actual expenditure figures for the current year 2015 and 16 as the financial year draws to a close in a couple of days, and Finance Minister would have the provisional figures to know the extent of shortfall revised supplementary estimate. The state-owned tax revenues were projected at 46,495 crores as per budget estimate and rupees 43,345 crores as per revised estimate. But the actual receipt of the four major revenues earning departments, namely commercial tax, state excise, stamp registration, transport department, worked out to rupees 36,229 crore by the end of February 2016. Similarly, the non-tax revenues are projected at rupees 22,413 crores as per the budget estimate of rupees 10,722 crores. As per revised estimate, the collection works out to 8,000 crores by February 2016. There has been not much of a change in the share of central taxes and the central grants in aid to the state. This means the actual budgetary expenditure of state may be between 80,000 crores to 85,000 crores in 2015 and 16, resulting in a huge shortfall with the revised estimate and supplementary estimates together. As I have stated before, there are many reasons for the shortfall in the revenue, both tax and non-tax, and the non-plan and plan expenditure in the last 2 years. The tax revenues are not growing at the anticipated rates because the targets are very ambitious, and beyond the reach of officials. The non-tax revenues are also witnessing huge shortfall because mining and other sectors are not yielding the anticipated collections. Moreover, the major shortfall under non-tax revenues due to non-realization of huge targets of revenue for sale and auction of land. The government has set a target of 6,500 crore in 2014 and 15 and rupees 13,500 crores in 15 and 16 for regularization and sale of government land, as against this target of rupees 20,000 crore. In the last 2 years, the government has realized only 259 crore. Only 259 crore, including rupees 9 crore in 2014 and 15 and rupees 250 crores in 15 and 16. And this money has come from land regularization under GOMS number 59. The target for 2016 and 17 is again fixed at 10,900 crores. I really fail to understand. What was the target set? What was the achievement? And why are we fixing such targets once again? I really do not know. Fine. The government has taken up regularization of land and unauthorized occupation of poor people to an extent of 125 square yards, free of cost under GOMS number 58 in GHMC and adjoining areas. Out of 3.3 lakhs applications received under GOMS 58, only 1.2 lakh were approved and the beneficiaries were given assigned land pattas. I want to know, Honorable Speaker, sir, I want to know what happened to the 2.28 lakh applications. Have these been rejected? And if so, what are the reasons for rejection? Because it is not a small number, it is 2.28 lakhs applications. I also understand that many applications under GOMS number 50 are being asked to pay 10% of cost of land under occupation since they are treated as ineligible for free pattas land under GOMS 59. As many as 28,776 applications were received in the government collected 259 crore. I would like to know how many applications are accepted and how many rejected, and what is the total revenue the government hopes to realize from the applicants under GOMS number 59. So I welcome the initiative of the government to protect the prime land parcels. In view of large-scale encroachment in municipalities and mandal towns, the government has launched a drive for construction compound walls. The many details, as many as 1,862 parcels, government land covering an extent of 10,410 acres worth 14,284 crore have been identified. I would like to suggest that instead of simply putting up fencing or compound wall, the government should put these lands for productive use by constructing building complexes and market, or setting up recreation facilities like playgrounds, my learned friend has said, and mini stadiums also, like my learned friend has just mentioned about. At the same time, sir, Honorable Speaker, sir, in erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, sir, when Telangana was not formed, left and right, the precious land of Telangana were auctioned and allotted. I humbly submit and request through you to the government is that kindly order for an inquiry. How many lands were allotted? What was the purpose the prime land of Telangana was allotted? Have they fulfilled that purpose? Have they generated that much of employment or not? Have that land been utilized for the purpose for which it was allotted? If not utilized for the purpose for allotted and employment has not been generated, the government should take back those lands, because they are very precious lands of Telangana. We just didn't lose our land, Honorable Speaker, sir. The then Telangana, the Andhra Pradesh government, the then ruling party of Congress has auctioned the land, took the money. जो पैसा आया वो जमीनात को बेचकर, वो पैसा भी तेलंगाना पे खर्च नहीं हुआ, वो पैसा भी आंध्रा में जाके आंध्रा वालों के लिए खर्च हुआ. तो आज उस पे इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए. This is a very important issue. This is not being taken. At the same time, Honorable Speaker, sir, when I say that there should be an inquiry, I want to caution the government. We should not create an environment where the allottees are scared. Allottees are scared. And the ones who are really doing the work, or who want to do the work, should not be scared and should not stop their ongoing project and leave the state of Telangana. We have to create that balance. And at the same time, Honorable Speaker साहब, मैं आपसे ये बात कहना चाहता हूं, और बार बार मैं ये बात कहता रहा हूं. When I talk about lands, sir, in 1984, Minority Welfare Department came into existence after a demand, long pending demand being made by MIM party in Legislative Assembly. Sir, prior to that, all the Waqf lands were in the custody of Land and Revenue Records. Land and Revenue Records. Revenue Department was responsible for the protection of Waqf lands also. So right till before 1984, the Revenue Department tampered the records and they included the name of government in the name of Waqf land. That needs to be inquired upon. This is why I say that the land of Hussain Shah Wali was allotted or was auctioned to Lanco. The land was allotted to Microsoft. The land was allotted to GE. The land was allotted to ISB. The land was allotted to EMAR and many other institutes over there. Hussain Shah Wali, 1,600 and change acre of land has been allotted. And where did revenue go? That revenue again went to the treasury of the government. Waqf never got anything. The Telangana government, now which is in power, at that time they were fighting for the cause of Telangana. The Telangana TRS party member had gone to the court. Along with me, I was also one person who had sought an intervention of the court. We won the case in High Court. The High Court decided that Hussain Shah Wali रहमतुल्लाह अलैह की दरगाह की जमीन वक्फ की जमीन है. लेकिन उसके बाद भी आज तक वो जमीन हुसैन शाह वली की वक्फ बोर्ड के हवाले नहीं की गई. ऑनरेबल स्पीकर साहब, मैं आपसे और आपके जरिए हुकूमत पर तवज्जो लाते हुए यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि 1667 एकड़ जमीन में से जितनी भी जमीन अलॉट की गई है, 700 एकड़ आज अनअलॉटेड लैंड है वहां पे मौजूद. मैं हुकूमत से दरख्वास्त करूंगा कि आप 700 एकड़ जमीन कम से कम वक्फ के हवाले कर दीजिए. अगर आप वो अनअलॉटेड जमीन वक्फ के हवाले करेंगे तो वक्फ बोर्ड उससे मुसलमानों की तालीमी पसमानदगी, माशी बेरोजगारी को दूर करने की कुछ कोशिश कर सकती है. आज हुकूमत 1000 करोड़ दे रही है, लेकिन मैं कहता हूं कि अगर औकाफी जायदादों का अगर सही तरीके से तहफ्फुज हो जाएगा और औकाफी जायदादों का के जो जमीनात हैं उसका सही इस्तेमाल होगा तो हमको किसी की मदद की जरूरत नहीं है, इमदाद की जरूरत नहीं है. मुसलमान खुद अपने पैरों पर खड़े होकर अपने सर पे मंडलाने वाले वो बादल जो काले और घने हैं उसको हटा सकता है. अपनी जिंदगियों में एक नई खुशहाली, एक नई रोशनी ला सकता है. इस चीज पर हुकूमत को गौर करना चाहिए. एंड ऑनरेबल स्पीकर सर, if your kind self remembers, sir, in Film Nagar we had a short discussion, cooperative society. In that I had raised the issue that entire land of Film Nagar belongs to Hakim Shah Baba Dargah. I gave the evidences. I showed the Muntakab which was written in Urdu. And then an inquiry was conducted, House committee was formed. House committee had 3 meetings. And in House committee, the Revenue Department failed to submit the documents. But the Waqf Board succeeded in proving that the entire Film Nagar Cooperative Society land is a Waqf land. But what I see, last week, Collector Hyderabad went challenging the Gazette, which stated that the entire land is a Waqf land. अब आप बताइए स्पीकर साहब, क्या यह नाइंसाफी नहीं है? अरे हाउस कमेटी की रिपोर्ट का इंतजार भी नहीं कर सकते क्या? Can't the Revenue Department wait for the findings of the House Committee? House Committee is supposed to be the mini assembly. Mini assembly is studying an issue, looking at a subject, and before the result of the mini assembly comes, the Hyderabad collector goes to the court. Isn't it sad, Honorable Speaker, sir? Sir, at the same time, sir, I would like to bring to your kind notice is that Honorable Chief Minister Saab had announced that Ajmer Sharif में जियारत के लिए मुसलमानों के लिए जमीन लेकर बनाएंगे. मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब जल्द अज जल्द एक डेलीगेशन लेकर जाएंगे, राजस्थान के चीफ मिनिस्टर से बात करेंगे और ख्वाजा गरीब नवाज के पास जो लोग जियारत के लिए जाते हैं उनके ख्याम के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा मरकज वहां पे तामीर करेंगे. There is an allocation which is being made in the budget, but that amount has not yet been utilized. At the same time, Honorable Speaker Saab, I would like to bring to your kind notice is that we have lot of Waqf land not only in Telangana, but we have the Telangana institutional Waqf land in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, that was the erstwhile Nizam state and the Hyderabad state. Institute is here, the land is there, and those lands are getting encroached. We have to protect those lands. If not, we can have some exchange program or we can take the revenues from the government of Maharashtra instead of those land. And in the same way, we have the institute here and the Waqf land is there in the holy places of Makkah and Medina. We have rubats there and all those rubats have gone in road widening. Not millions, but billions of dollars is the compensation amount which is lying there with the government of Saudi Arabia. क्यों हम उन रुबातों के लिए कुछ नहीं करते? हमारे तेलंगाना के हाजी जब जाते हैं तो पैसे देते हैं, अगर हम वो अमाउंट को लेकर एक नए रुबात बनाएंगे मक्का और मदीना में तो हमारे हाजियों को वो पैसा बचेगा, हुकूमत के लिए अच्छा नाम आएगा. At the same time, madam, I would like to come on record and say that about the properties which are there in Makkah, Rubat Hussain Bibi, Rubat Dilawar Nisa Begum, Rubat Afzalud-Dawla, Rubat Bashirud-Dawla, House of Allah Rakhe Begum, House of Nurse Nilaram Begum, and the properties in Medina, Tawatiya, Rubat Hussain Bi, Rubat Afzalud-Dawla, House of Mehtab Beg, House of Khaja Ismail, and other, Salim Begum Rubat, and many other Rubats are there, man. And at the same time, Maheshwaram lands, madam. 442 acres of land, Maheshwaram, belonging to Muslim maternity, is been illegally encroached and has been illegally sold also. We need to have an inquiry in that. And just hitting opposite to the international airport, we again have a precious land, more than 400 acres of Waqf land. Ali Saad Ashur Khana. Can't we protect that land? Honorable Speaker, sir, we need to protect this land. Construction is happening over there. Dargah Hazrat Fakir Mullah, 220 acres of land is there. Dargah Hazrat Nabi Shah Hussaini is situated at Changi Chirla village, the Changi Chirla Rangareddy district having its Inam land. And the extent, Honorable Speaker, sir, the extent of that land is 2,572.11 guntas. Gazette number 6A dated 9/2/1989. I hope that the government would take an appropriate action. Dargah Hazrat Saadullah Hussaini, Bade Pahar, Nizamabad. Nizamabad, Bade Pahar ki dargah, 700 acres is forest. They say that it's a forest land. Fine, if it is a forest land, the forest department can keep that land and alternate land can be allotted for work purpose. This is we have been making from quite a long time, but it has been unheard, unattended, and I hope that this government would hear this. And also, Honorable Speaker, sir, एक मर्तबा नहीं कई मर्तबा में एक ही बात कह रहा हूं, उर्दू को जिंदा रखना है. अगर उर्दू को जिंदा रखना है तो जबान को रोजगार से मरबूत करना होगा. We have to associate the language with employment. If the language is not going to generate employment, then that language will die on its own. That is why I have been repeatedly making a demand and requesting all the competitive exams, whether group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or recruitment of any department, all the exams should be conducted in Urdu. We are conducting in Telugu. We are conducting in English. Why not in Urdu? We have declared Urdu as a second official language over here in many districts, almost all the districts of Telangana. Why are we not doing that? This is, I appreciate Honorable Chief Minister Saab for accepting the demand made by my BJP friends of conducting the SI examination in English also, Telugu also. Why have you forgotten Urdu? Why have you forgotten Urdu? Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. I was expecting Urdu ka bhi saath hoga. I hope that my learned friend would support my demand. English में भी हो, तेलुगु में भी होना चाहिए, उर्दू में भी होना चाहिए. उर्दू में होगा. अगर उर्दू से अगर रोजगार नहीं मिल रहा है तो फिर उर्दू कौन पढ़ेगा? स्पीकर साहब बताइए आप, क्यों पढ़ेगा उर्दू? क्योंकि जब उसको मालूम है कि उर्दू से ना रोजगार मिल रहा है, ना रोटी मिल रही है, ना रोजी मिल रही है, तो उर्दू खत्म हो जाएगी. उर्दू एक मीठी जबान है. हैदराबाद में पली, पैदा जरूर हुई लखनऊ में, लेकिन पली बड़ी उर्दू अगर कहीं पर तो वो हैदराबाद में रही. और आज उस उर्दू को जिंदा रखना है हमको. एंड ऑल्सो अबाउट द स्टडी सर्कल्स आई हैड बीन मेंशनिंग आफ्टर द बाइफिकेशन ऑफ आंध्र प्रदेश हाई कोर्ट, तेलंगाना हाई कोर्ट विल कम इनटू एग्जिस्टेंस. व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज इन जुडिशरी, ऑनरेबल स्पीकर सर? मुसलमानों का तनासुब क्या है? मुसलमानों का तनासुब बिल्कुल कम है. जुडिशरी में 1% भी नहीं है. गवर्नमेंट प्लीडर्स कितने हैं बताइए मुसलमान? आज तेलंगाना की हुकूमत है, लेकिन कितने हैं? पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर्स कितने मुसलमान? आज कितने मुसलमान हैं? आज ये बाइफर्केशन के बाद जूनियर डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज और सिविल जजेस के पोस्ट निकलेंगे. वी आर हैविंग स्टडी सेंटर्स. टेल द माइनॉरिटी डिपार्टमेंट टू कंडक्ट कोचिंग क्लासेस फॉर these recruitment of district judges and civil judges. अगर हमारे बच्चों को तैयार करेंगे तो उससे फायदा होगा। सिर्फ एमसेट की कोचिंग दी जाती है। आज आई हैव बीन डिमांडिंग दैट माइनॉरिटी वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट कैन हैव अ पोर्टल इन विच दे कैन गाइड द माइनॉरिटी स्टूडेंट्स। माइनॉरिटी स्टूडेंट्स की रहनुमाई करिए, कैरियर गाइडेंस सेल बनाइए, where a minority student is being guided to which profession he should go, what he should select. But that is also not happening, man. Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, we have been mentioning about Quli Qutub Shah. Quli Qutub Shah was formed for the development of old city. आज बजट में मैं फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर साहब से पूछना चाहता हूं, कितना पैसा दिया आप? जितना पैसा दिए पूरा तनख्वाह में चला जाएगा। तनख्वाह में जाने के बाद एक पैसा नहीं बचेगा पुराने शहर की तरक्की के लिए। अरे मैं आपसे ज्यादा नहीं, सिर्फ एक 25 करोड़ का मुतालबा करता हूं। और वो 25 करोड़ किसके लिए सर? दिस 25 करोड़ आई वांट दिस फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ न्यू बिल्डिंग्स फॉर फलकनुमा जूनियर कॉलेज, new building for Golconda Junior and Degree College, new building for Falaknuma Degree College, new building for Santosh Nagar Junior College and Degree College, new building for Chanchalgoda Junior and Degree College. इसके लिए I am not asking amount for roads, drainage or water. No. I want the minorities to be uplifted in the field of education, because the experience of my political career says that only and only education can bring in a change. Only education can bring in the change. The darkness can be removed only with education. अगर इल्म आ जाएगा तो जिंदगी की तारीकियां दूर हो जाएंगी, अंधेरे निकल जाएंगे, नए उजाले आ जाएंगे, नई तरक्की आएगी, एक अच्छी सोच बनेगी। तालीम पर कुली कुतुब शाह को एक 25 करोड़ दीजिए, ज्यादा नहीं दीजिए। आपसे मुतालबा करते हैं। At the same time, Honorable Speaker Sahab, I have been repeatedly demanding and requesting that Setwin is there. Setwin comes under Mr. Padma Rao Sahab. Setwin कैसा चल रहा, क्या चल रहा, कुछ नहीं मालूम होता साहब. Why don't you merge Setwin with the minority department? Minority department can take care of Setwin, and through Setwin, Muslim minority children can be given vocational training. Why don't we do that? We have an institute. Setwin Successful Institute is there. Why not utilize the services? We have National Academy of Construction. Why don't we open up branches of NAC in the minority dominated areas? We have National Institute of Fashion Designing and Technology. Why can't the internees of National Institute of Fashion Designing come into minority dominated areas and slums and teach the Muslim girls as to what the fashion is? This can be utilized. So this is why I say that. And also, Honorable Speaker, sir, about the old city package, late Dr. Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy had given 2,000 crores of old city developmental package. वो पैकेज का काम आज तक भी कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, वैसी पड़ा हुआ है. मैं हुकूमत से दरखास्त करूंगा कि आप ओल्ड सिटी पैकेज पर एक मीटिंग बुलाइए और जो पेंडिंग वर्क्स है ओल्ड सिटी में, जो पैकेज में ओल्ड सिटी के, उसको कंप्लीट करने की कोशिश करिए. एंड ऑल्सो गोइंग फर्दर अहेड, मैं आपसे कहूंगा कि शहर में सबसे बड़ा मसला अगर कुछ है तो वो पानी का मसला है. इस वक्त वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ डिबेट ऑन ड्राउट, एंड द गवर्नमेंट हैज एग्रीड ऑल्सो टू टेक अप द इशू of water scarcity. But as the Honorable Health Minister Saab is there, I would like to bring to his kind notice through you, Honorable Speaker Saab, is that I may be wrong, but I'm just in which we are wasting the waters. The way in which we are wasting the waters. So the total dialysis in Hyderabad city, in government and private hospitals, is nearing to 1,500. I would like the Honorable Health Minister to please listen to me, sir. Sir, per patient, 4-hour dialysis is required. And for that, 150 liters is required water. 150. Water wastage per patient is 75 liters. Per day, 3 patients in each machine is 450 liters. Wastage of water per day is 225 liters per day. That is 1,000. That is 1,500 machines water. It will be 6,75,000 liter water wastage, 3,37,500. If we calculate this for end of the month, the water which is getting wasted is 12 crores 15 lakh liters. That is 121 0.5 ml, sir. 150 liters is needed for one person. If we save this water, 8,10,000 people or a family can have water, sir.
Please,
Sir,
please
why
con-
don't-
Please conclude.
Sir, I'm conclude, sir. Sir, why don't we set up some water treatment plant and see that this water is used, reused? Sir, I was shocked and surprised. We also have hospitals. Sir, every day, the water which was going in sewerage to dialysis machines in our hospital was 25,000 liters. I was shocked. I installed a water treatment plant and that water is being used for the toilets. So this is one example which I'm giving. We can use these things, sir. And also I heard that the new districts would be coming. Sir, as far as Hyderabad is concerned, it has been said that Hyderabad को 3 हिस्सों में तोड़ा जाएगा. हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से I would like to come on record and say that कि आप हैदराबाद को 3 हिस्सों में मत तोड़िए. We have HMDA, we have GHMC. This will cover Hyderabad. It will create more confusion. And also, I would like to say that the Chief Minister has promised that the district planning committee would be formed with elected representatives and officials, but this assurance has not been fulfilled so far. I urge the government for the district planning committees. We had earlier DDRCs, वो आज तक DDRC हो नहीं रही है. तो मैं इसके लिए कहूंगा, heat wave is there, the summer is very strong. I request the government to please take initiatives कि किस तरीके से हम गरम चिलचिलाती हुई धूप में इंसानों की जान को बचाएं. न सिर्फ इंसानों की जान को बचाएं बल्कि मवेशियों की जान को भी बचाएं, जानवरों की जान को बचाएं. आज कैटल के लिए, बकरियों के लिए, बड़े जानवर के लिए आज
please.
घास नहीं है. Sir, just give me some little more time, sir. I humbly request, sir. Sir, about going again about the prohibition, मैं आप साहब से कहूंगा कि आंध्र प्रदेश और तेलंगाना ये हिंदुस्तान के लीडिंग स्टेट्स बन गए हैं शराब के मामले में. साहब कितनी ज्यादा पिला रहे हैं, कितना ज्यादा पिला रहे हैं. ना सिर्फ वो था बल्कि अब तो ये हो गया है कि जितने हैं वो टिप्पर्स हैं, जो छोटे छोटे टिप्पर्स के भी खोल दिए हैं, पी रहे हैं, रोड पे लौट रहे हैं, कंपाउंड आ गए हैं शहर के बीच में. सर, when allotting a permission for a wine shop or anything, there is a rule regulation. Worship places, mandir, masjid, गिरजा, schools should be taken care and seen. It should not come. But आज देखिए कितने शराब खाने मस्जिदों के बाजू है, मंदिरों के बाजू है, schools के बाजू है. काइंडली इस पर आप देखिए और इसको कम करने के लिए करिए, सर. And also about the tax and VAT, sir. The areas of VAT are said to be 4,000 crores and the government proposes to reach the VAT collection target next year by recovering the areas by taking up special drive. I don't know how they would be taking that, but at the same time, I would also like to say that the local bodies have got a very raw deal. कि आज सबसे ज्यादा रोड टैक्स, प्रोफेशनल टैक्स GHMC को लाती है. 60% of state professional tax is recovered by GHMC. What is the state that GHMC is getting? कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है. तो किस तरीके से ये GHMC और दूसरे चलेंगे. और मैं इसके साथ ही साथ आगे बढ़ता हुआ व्हीकुलर बूम के बारे में भी कहूंगा. ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट एक मेजर कंट्रीब्यूटर ऑफ टैक्स रेवेन्यूज है. The vehicle strength in the state had crossed to 86 lakh, and by the next year this may cross 1 crore mark because every year 22 lakh vehicles are added in the state. Similarly, about 22 lakh driving license are issued in the state annually. When I talk about this, road tax, sir, road tax जो है सो RTA ऑफिस लेती है, रोड मेंटेन GHMC करती है. अरे रोड टैक्स का कुछ शेयर GHMC को दिया जाए. Some share should be given to GHMC. If not, GHMC कैसा करेगा? And also about when I talk about the RTA, Honorable Speaker, sir, through you I would like to request to the government is that one RTA office has come up in Old City. We were demanding that RTA office should be named after the former president of AIMIM, late Sultan Salahuddin Owaisi, Salari Millat RTA Center. I have been requesting to Honorable Transport Minister. I spoken to CM साहब. CM साहब बोले मुझे कि अकबर साहब ये बहुत सही बात है, सालार साहब बहुत पुराने लीडर है हमारे तेलंगाना के, और मैं कहूंगा कि तेलंगाना का एक लीडर जो सारे हिंदुस्तान के मुसलमानों का लीडर बना है, जरूर हमको वो RTA ऑफिस उनके नाम से देंगे. आज तक नहीं हुआ. मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप उसके ऊपर भी देखेंगे. Sir, and also about this 7-seater auto rickshaws, no new permits are to be issued to 7-seaters. I would say autos का भी ट्रैफिक के प्रॉब्लम को देखें. सर, about the RTC losses also, sir. I'm concluding, sir, about the RTC losses when I talk. My learned friend has mentioned and said that. GHMC से RTC को दे रहे हैं साहब. क्यों GHMC से दे रहे हैं? And at the same time, अब बहुत लंबी चौड़ी बातें हैं साहब, मुझे नहीं मालूम कि किस तरीके से ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर साहब कहते हैं कि 1000 करोड़ विल बी गिवन बाय द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, जबकि बजट में उसका प्रोविजन ही नहीं है. एंड सर, वन रिक्वेस्ट आई वांट टू मेक, सर, वन रिक्वेस्ट, सर. सर, व्हेन वी वर स्मॉल, वी यूज्ड टू सी इन हैदराबाद डबल डेकर बसेस देखते थे साहब. हैदराबाद की पहचान थे साहब वो डबल डेकर बसेस. कितने खूबसूरत बसेस दिखते थे सर. ट्रेलर बसेस थे साहब. ये डबल डेकर खत्म कर दिए, ट्रेलर खत्म कर दिए. कौन खत्म करे? आंध्रा वाले खत्म कर दिए सर. हम तेलंगाना वालों को हमारी वो पहचान वापस लानी होगी. डबल डेकर बस को घुमाना होगा साहब. आज मुंबई में चलती है डबल डेकर, कई डबल डेकर बसेस पड़े हुए हैं. होम मिनिस्टर साहब, आप भी देखे होंगे डबल डेकर बसेस कितने अच्छे दिखते थे सर. उसमें घूमे भी हैं सर आप. तो डबल डेकर बसेस को लाने के लिए मैं आपसे दरखास्त करूंगा सर. और ओल्ड सिटी पैकेज पर भी, पावर सेक्टर के बारे में भी जरूर कहूंगा. लेकिन इसके साथ ही साथ मैं कंक्लूड करते हुए ये जरूर कहूंगा कि तनकीद करनी चाहिए हुकूमत पे, लेकिन तनकीद बराए तामीर हो. मजलिस इत्तेहादुल मुस्लिमीन हुकूमत पे तनकीद करती है, करते रहेगी, लेकिन उसका मतलब यह नहीं कि हम हर बात पे तनकीद करेंगे. जो नाइंसाफी होगी उस पे तनकीद करेंगे, जो गलत होगा तनकीद करेंगे, जो अच्छा होगा उसकी तारीफ भी करेंगे. पावर सेक्टर पे कंक्लूड करना चाहता था, लेकिन मुझे याद आता है कि आंध्र प्रदेश असेंबली, सर, व्हेन आई वाज देयर, वी हैड विटनेस्ड 5 hours of presentation of the then Congress Chief Minister Mr. Kiran Kumar Reddy. 5 hours. And the major point he raised was, if Telangana is formed, Telangana andhere mein rahega, Telangana will be in dark. Who is in dark now? I do not want to know who is in dark. लेकिन तेलंगाना अंधेरे में नहीं है. तेलंगाना में उजाला है. उजाला कम होगा, लेकिन उम्मीद है कि बहुत अच्छी रोशनी लेकर तेलंगाना आगे बढ़ेगा, एक मिसाल लेकर आगे बढ़ेगा. पानी का मसला भी है, इरिगेशन का भी है, सही है, लेकिन यह हकीकत है कि जो नाइंसाफी, जो फंड 10 बरस में तेलंगाना पे सर्फ नहीं हुआ, इस हुकूमत ने 1 बरस में उससे ज्यादा स्पेंड किया है. मैं उम्मीद कर रहा था कि वहां से कोई ये तस्वीर पेश करेंगे, लेकिन वहां से तस्वीर पेश नहीं हुई, तो यहीं से तस्वीर को पेश करना पड़ा. मैं कांग्रेस पर तनकीद नहीं कर रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं कहूंगा कि हम सब की जिम्मेदारी है कि हुकूमत का ताउन करें, हुकूमत की मदद करें और कोशिश करें कि नया स्टेट बना है, नए स्टेट को चलाना बहुत मुश्किल काम है, कठिन काम है, लेकिन उम्मीदें हैं कि रोजगार मिल जाएगा, उम्मीदें हैं कि सबको खुशहाली आएगी. हां, उस उम्मीद को जिंदा रखना है हमको, उस उम्मीद को जिंदा रखते हुए काम करना है. फाइनेंसेस का हाल मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि खराब है, नहीं है फाइनेंसेस, लेकिन खराब नहीं है, अच्छे हो सकते हैं और होंगे. हमको उम्मीद है हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से तनकीद भी रहेगी, ताउन भी रहेगा. इस रियासत को तरक्की के बुलंदियों पे पहुंचाने के लिए आपने जो मौका दिया, इसके लिए मैं आपका शुक्रिया अदा करते हुए उम्मीद करता हूं कि मेरे उठाए गए अक़लियतों के सवालात पर हुकूमत जरूर जवाब देगी. SC ST के बराबर मुसलमानों को मराद देगी. तालीम और रोजगार में 12% तहफ़्फ़ुज़ात के लिए करेगी और 4.5% तहफ़्फ़ुज़ात जारी रहे, इस पे एक अच्छी मुकम्मल हिकमत करेगी. और आखिर में कहूंगा कि चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब ने वादा किया था कि आलेर एनकाउंटर पर इंक्वायरी करेंगे, रिपोर्ट आएगी. मैं पूछना चाहता हूं कि आलेर पर कब इंक्वायरी की रिपोर्ट आएगी, कब उन जालिम मुजरिम पुलिस वालों को सजा दी जाएगी और आलेर के बेकसूरों को इंसाफ दिया जाएगा. यह आलेर का इनकाउंटर हुकूमत के ऊपर और हमारे ऊपर भी एक सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है, जो हमको बताना है कि ये बेकसूर लोग थे और ये कसूरवार पुलिस वालों को पुलिस नहीं बख्शेगी. पुलिस वाले कैसे पुलिस वालों के खिलाफ इंक्वायरी करेंगे, हुकूमत को गौर करना चाहिए. और उम्मीद करता हूं कि आलेर के उस बेकसूर लोगों को इंसाफ मिलेगा तो मुसलमानों को भी इंसाफ मिलेगा. तेलंगाना तरक्की करेगा तो इसमें हर शहरी तरक्की करेगा. SC ST BC और माइनॉरिटी सब तरक्की करेंगे, सबकी जिंदगी में खुशहाली आएगी. शुक्रिया स्पीकर साहब, बहुत शुक्रिया.